There's no question that smartphone cameras are becoming more and more capable each year. Some even come equipped with a 1-inch sensor for the main camera paired with an amazing image processor. Now, if only we could change the lenses of these smartphone cameras to capture even better photos or videos. Well, that's exactly what Vivo did with the new X300 Pro. If you get the X300 Pro with the Photographer Kit, it comes with an attachable telephoto lens. This means you don't have to worry about using the digital zoom to go beyond the built-in optical range. In fact, it might just be a godsend addition for mobile photographers and videographers who need the extra focal length and compression. Considering everything the vivo X300 Pro offers, is it the new go-to for capturing photos and videos on a smartphone? Well, let's find out just how capable the cameras are of this phone in this video. First up, let's talk about the camera specs on the vivo X300 Pro. It features a triple rear camera system composed of a 50 megapixel main shooter with PDAF OIS, a 50 megapixel ultrawide, and the highlight of this phone's camera system, a 200 megapixel periscope telephoto lens. Mind you, all of these are co-engineered with Zeiss. Yes, that Zeiss. At the front, there's another 50 megapixel main camera for your selfies. This ensures you have the same quality photo and video no matter which of the 4 cameras you use. But it doesn't end there. The 200 megapixel periscope telephoto lens can zoom up to 2500 millimeters out of the box. But to retain the best image quality, it's best used up to 1500 millimeters. Anything beyond that, and there is a noticeable drop in the quality, which is to be expected. A phone camera can only zoom so far after all. But what if you wanted to capture images or videos of things even further away? As mentioned earlier, you get the X300 Pro with the Photographer Kit. It comes with an attachable telephoto lens made by Zeiss themselves. With it installed, you have an effective zoom range of 200mm to 5400mm for photos. For those of you wondering, the lens itself doesn't adjust focal length. Instead, it still relies on the X300 Pro's digital zoom. There's also a camera grip attachment featuring a shutter button, video record, and zoom control, which makes it a lot easier to capture photos and videos. No need to tap the display anymore. Instead, just use the grip like you would on a normal camera. There's no doubt that the Photographer Kit might be overkill for some, but it will allow users to capture images that would be otherwise impossible to do so. Best of all, you retain the photo and video quality you would expect from the X300 Pro. Speaking of the quality, the vivo X300 Pro arguably has one of the best smartphone cameras we've tried out. Whether it's in the day or in low light conditions, all of the images come out sharp with almost no loss in details. The phone's image processor does a great job of balancing the highlights, shadows, and contrast both during the day and at night. However, as the user, you can also adjust things according to your liking on the fly. Turn on effect adjustment to adjust brightness, contrast, saturation, and sharpness even before capturing photos. There are multiple picture profiles to choose from as well, and they can drastically change the mood of the photo. But out of all the ones available, I personally prefer the Zeiss profile the best, with its more natural looking colors and a better balance of highlights and shadows. For reference, the majority of the photos captured in this video were taken with the Zeiss color profile. Mind you, I'm not even in Pro mode yet, and all of these settings are easily found in the standard photo mode. Here, you can choose between 50 megapixel mode and 200 megapixel mode too, but do note you will be limited to certain focal lengths. Switch to portrait mode, and it's not the typical portrait mode settings you'd expect from other smartphones that include adjustable bokeh and a beautification option. Instead, tap on the lens icon at the bottom right and you will have the various focal lengths to choose from, simulating the effect of different lenses. You can also choose the aperture, which goes down to f/0.95, but best of all, adjust how the bokeh in the background looks. Interestingly, there's even an AI visual that's only available in portrait mode and not in the standard photo mode. Now, I know what you're thinking. To some of you guys, these functions under portrait mode might be a bit hard to comprehend, especially if you're a bit new or don't really know much about photography. But what I will say is just play around with it and choose which style suits your liking the best. Other photo modes include landscape and night, which, as the name suggests, are dedicated modes for landscape and night photography. Here you also have AI visual, but also a neat feature called perspective correction. You can only toggle one or the other, but the latter does help a lot when you're trying to frame shots better. Of course, if you want to adjust everything manually, there's Pro mode for that. Here, you can set the white balance, shutter speed, aperture, and ISO to your liking. But given how capable the regular photo mode already is, I find that using photo mode is a lot faster faster and more convenient for most, if not all, occasions. So now that we've seen what the X300 Pro can do for photos, let's check out how it handles videos. The rear cameras of the X300 Pro can shoot up to 8K at 30 FPS, but the majority of the video we captured was shot in 4K at 30 FPS. Why is that? Well, there are limitations when you're shooting 8K at 30 FPS. For starters, you can't turn on Dolby Vision in 8K, which means you may not be able to get that HDR look if that's what you're looking for. They're also limited to 24 and 50mm focal lengths, but the trade-off is that you get the full resolution. And honestly, even without Dolby Vision, the 8K footage is sharp and clear both in the day and at night. With Dolby Vision turned on, you get a much better color profile. The colors are more saturated and there's more contrast too, and more importantly, the colors are a lot more accurate. In low light, there's little to no grain and there's a good balance between the highlights and shadows, as you would expect from a camera of this quality. Interestingly, it even features some sort of stabilization, which is apparent from the footage I was able to capture. All of these videos were shot handheld with no stabilization applied in post, and I'm surprised how stable it is even with my shaky hands. If your hands are a lot shakier than mine, there is an ultra stabilization function, but it limits the video resolution to 2.8K at 60 FPS max. Unfortunately, it can't be used alongside Dolby Vision, but at least videos will look like they were shot on a gimbal. For those of you who love editing their videos in post, you can also use Pro Mode to shoot in Vivo's log format. The Rec 709 conversion LUT is available to download on the Vivo website, and from there, you have a lot more room for color grading and correcting in post because of the better dynamic range. Another thing that really impressed me about X300 Pro's video capabilities is the mic. It picks up voices very clearly with decent noise cancellation out of the box. I could keep yapping about how amazing the video is, but to see is to believe. That said, to show you just how capable it is for video, I'll let this short montage of my drive around town and the events I went through speak for itself. As for the rest of the phone, the vivo X300 Pro is amazingly specced out as well. It packs a MediaTek Dimensity 9500 chipset with up to 16GB of RAM and 512GB of SSD storage. There's also a large 6510 mAh battery, which ensures you can keep taking photos and videos without having to recharge. Now, if you're still not impressed by the camera capabilities of the vivo X300 Pro, I've decided to end this video a bit differently. In fact, after the montage, the rest of this video was filmed on the vivo X300 Pro. If you barely notice the quality, that just shows how capable the camera on this phone is. Now, as for the price, the vivo X300 Pro retails for 77,999 pesos. Meanwhile, the vivo Zeiss Telephoto Extender Kit retails for 12,999 pesos, and the vivo PGY Tech Imaging Grip Kit that costs 7,999 pesos. If that's still a bit too pricey for you, the standard vivo X300 in the 16 plus 512GB configuration retails for 67,999 pesos. Overall, what do you think of the vivo X300 Pro with the Photographer Kit? Would you get one instead of a point-and-shoot camera? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like and subscribe to watch more. Don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, that's Facebook, Instagram, X, and TikTok. And of course, visit yugatech.com for the latest tech news and reviews. Once again, this has been Asaya, and I'll see you in the next one.